Hello friends, welcome back. Today I've been crafting and I've been kind of pulling out my Christmas stuff and decorating, but nothing gets me in the Christmas mood faster than doing some DIYs. So I've got 3 of them for you today and I'm really excited to share them with you. So stick around, grab some coffee or cocoa to get in the mood, and let's get crafting. Okay, so for this first DIY, I'm going to use some of these branch pieces from the Dollar Tree, and there's 12 in a pack, and I'm going to use some Mod Podge or any sort of glue would work, and some buffalo snow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of them to create a little ring, and I'm just going to twist it on the end to itself and create a little tiny wreath and kind of fluff it up a little bit because they're very flat. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab another one and put it kind of slightly inside the other one, just to make it a little bit fuller of a wreath, not just right on top, but kind of just slightly inside, so it's just a little bit bigger. And I'm just gonna use the wire that's already in it and twist it on itself and kind of connect them that way. Okay, so you can see it's just a little bit fuller and it makes the perfect little small wreath. And like I said, I'm going to use the buffalo flurries, and I got those at Michael's. I think you can get them at Walmart as well. And I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. And I'm not going to put it everywhere because I just kind of want it spotted here and there. And I'm going to put the glue on kind of thick. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle the buffalo flurries right on top and kind of press them in. Okay, so I wanted my wreaths very simple and undecorated, just a little bit of snow. So if you guys want yours decorated, please do. That's when you're going to do it. So at this point, I'm going to measure out my ribbon. And I got this ribbon at the Dollar Tree. It's the red and white striped, kind of candy cane striped ribbon. And I measure it how long I want it. And then I add about 2 to 3 inches more than I think I'm going to need. And then I just kind of create a little bit of a loop kind of through the wreath and then hot glue it on the other side. So I hot glue the ribbon together. Okay, so what I'm going to do with these wreaths is I'm going to attach them to my kitchen cabinet doors. And so that's why I wanted a long piece of ribbon. And I'm just going to attach it with Scotch tape on the inside. You could use like a thumbtack or something, but I just didn't want to do that. So I just used a little piece of tape, it's clear, and adjust the wreath to where I want it on the cupboard, how low I want it to hang. And I don't want the wreath to be moving around a lot when I open the door, so I just use another piece of tape and kind of loop it around to make it like a double-sided tape, and put it on the back of the wreath, kind of on the ribbon, I guess, and press it in. And I test it out. It works perfectly, so I don't have to worry about them moving around a lot. So at this point, I'm just going to finish making my wreaths and attaching them to my cupboard doors. So 1 pack of 12 branches, and I don't know if you call them branches, but it makes 6 wreaths when you use 2 per wreath. So I needed 7 altogether, and I didn't do the smaller cupboard doors, just the bigger ones up above. And I think they're beautiful. I absolutely love it. They're the perfect size wreath. I've actually not done this in my kitchen before because my cupboard doors were darker, and now that they're white, I just think it's so pretty, and they're the perfect size wreath for kitchen cabinets. Okay, for the next DIY, I used 2 of these kind of shapely vases. They're like the medium-sized vases. 2 clay pots, a little bit of the Dry Oasis, and a red and black buffalo check scarf. And actually I tried to use the scarf to wear and it's just a little bit too small for me. I like bigger scarves, but yeah, so I thought, well, I'm going to use it for a DIY. So I cut my Oasis to fit inside, and it's literally to hold up my vase, and I put it in the pots, and then I grabbed that scarf and just cut it along the seam line. It's an infinity scarf, so I wanted to make it just one long piece so it's easier to work with. Okay, so at this point I'm going to measure it around my clay pot, and it doesn't go all the way around, but that's all right. I'm going to cut it so it's just at the bottom. Cut it to size, basically. I can't talk today. Okay, once I get that first piece cut, I'm going to lay it on top of the scarf as a template and cut a second piece. And once I get the second piece cut, I'm going to use that first one that I cut as another template. I'm not going to use the second one because it might be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to use the first one, lay it on the scarf again, and cut a third piece. Okay, so at this point I have 3 pieces. So that third piece, I'm going to fold it in half and cut it. So I'm cutting the third piece in half. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to put some hot glue just straight down the side and glue one side down. And it's gonna hang just a tiny bit longer than my clay pot. That's all right, I can deal with that later. Next, I'm gonna put some hot glue around the top edge, not all the way around. The hot glue is gonna dry pretty fast anyway, so I'm just gonna basically glue the fabric to the top rim of the clay pot. Okay, so once I get to the other side, I'm not gonna glue the edge down, not yet. I'm gonna grab that little half piece and try to line up my fabric as best I can to where it looks like it blends together a little bit. And it's a little bit long, so I'm gonna cut it to where it's gonna fit in there and not have to, I don't want the fabric to overlap, and that I just feel like that would look lumpy, so I want it to fit better in there. So I'm going to glue that to the top edge, and then I'm going to glue the sides on this little piece that I'm gluing on first. Okay, so you can see where I'm gluing the little piece on first, and then the bigger piece, I'm kind of gonna try to glue it on top of the smaller piece, if that makes sense. Okay, don't be tempted to glue the fabric tight on there because of how the pot is shaped. It's bigger at the top, so when I get to the bottom, none of that's glued yet. So I'm gonna put some glue around the bottom rim, and then I'm gonna pull all the fabric straight up because it's upside down, and it's gonna create like natural flowing pleats in the fabric to where it makes it look a little bit more natural and not in some weird crooked shape because of the squares in the buffalo check. You want everything to stay nice and straight. So at this point I can trim off the extra fabric at the bottom, and that way the pot is going to sit nice and flat on a surface and not be wiggly. Okay, I think it's super cute just like this. You could put anything in it, like a little Christmas tree or something, but I wanted to add some white fur trim around the top, and I got that at Big Lots, yeah. And it was a 9-foot roll for $4, and I just kind of measure how much I need and cut it, and then I'm going to fold it in half lengthwise and cut it in half because I think it's just a little too wide for this pot. So I just wanted a little bit thinner trim around the top, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to hot glue that trim along the top edge. I'm not going to worry about seeing the top edge because I'm going to fill this with some greenery, just a little bit of greenery. And you could put anything you want in there. I just think these are so cute, just like they are. Okay, so next I glue my vases onto the oasis inside, and then I just make another one of those little mini wreaths and put it right around the vase so you don't see that oasis. And then I'm going to use this pick from the Dollar Tree. Literally everything came from the Dollar Tree except for the white fir trim. And I was trying out these candles in there. I don't like them, they're too low. It'd be hard to light them, I feel like. So those don't stay in there. But yeah, I tear apart the picks and I used 2 altogether from the Dollar Tree and just kind of glued pieces in. I did push them into the oasis, but yeah, I just kind of put them where I thought they would look nice. This was a really fun DIY, and like I said, you could put anything in it, even just a little Christmas tree or maybe some greenery, like a little plant, a little fake plant, even like a cute little succulent would look cute in there, I think. But anyway, I go ahead and finish adding little touches of stuff, and yeah, I think that this would be a fun project with a group of friends, or for like a church DIY project, or for a school project or something. I think this would be a really fun one. Okay, so next I grabbed one of these white stag heads that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I carefully cut off the antlers. And it was a little tricky, only because I didn't want to accidentally break them. And I wanted to do it in a way to where I basically, with the antlers cut off, it would look like a female deer, so I could still use it if I wanted to. And I can glue 1 antler to each candle holder. I just really want that cabin look this year, and I feel like I wanted these little miniature antlers in here. So I think these would actually look really pretty as a centerpiece on a table or on nightstands on either side of like a guest room or something. So anyway, I think they're really pretty. Okay, so the candles I decided to use are the emergency candles from the Dollar Tree. I just like the size of them. And they're just regular candles. They do burn longer. So I melted a little bit of the bottom of the candle so it would drip inside the vase, and then I could stick the candle in it, in that melted wax, and it would kind of glue it where I wanted it inside, and it would stand straight up. And I think that these candles are a lot easier to light, and they look really nice in there. I think they're the perfect size. Okay, for our third DIY, I grabbed 3 boxes from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take the lids off. I'm going to save them because I might be able to use them for another DIY. Actually, I do have something in mind. So I'm going to turn this first round box upside down. And the second box is the same size, so I'm going to glue it upside down on top of this one. So the bottom of the box is facing up. So I'm just going to make sure that they're perfectly lined up to make a taller box. Okay, now that those are glued together, I'm going to grab some scrapbook paper, and this one is weathered wood, and you could use a different kind. I got my scrapbook paper at Michael's, and I think they were like 77 cents a piece. So I actually decided I wanted to use the weathered wood one. I think it just looks really nice. And I got 3 of them, 3 sheets. And I'm going to line it up on the side, and I'm actually just going to use tape. So if you wanted this to be like a permanent thing, then I would use like a spray adhesive or something, or maybe like Mod Podge. But I'm just going to use tape because I don't know if I want to keep these like as a permanent thing. So again, just like with the fabric earlier, it wasn't quite long enough. So I'm going to cut this bottom piece off. It's really long. And then I can use the extra paper from that. Okay, basically with this, I'm just gonna try to line up the wood so it looks like it blends together a little bit so you can't really see a seam. And just do the same thing as I did with the fabric. I'm going to tape the smaller piece in first and then tape the bigger piece on the outside. Okay, so obviously where I got the idea for this is those really cute birchwood candle holders that we've seen in like Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and they're everywhere, and I absolutely love them. But I don't know why, I just didn't want to buy them, and I decided I wanted to make some because I don't know, trends kind of come and go, I don't know. Anyway, this was a super easy project. So for the top, you could use the lid. You could put the lid on as a top, but I'm just going to lay that extra piece of paper on top and kind of press it in there so I can see the circle shape. And then I'm going to cut out that circle and just tape it on the same as I did the other paper. Okay guys, I had so much fun doing these crafts today. I had Christmas movies playing on my computer and decorating here and there. I absolutely love how these turned out. They're very rustic, very cabin feeling to me, perfect for what I had in mind. Can't even tell they're not wood. So anyway, I hope you guys love them too, and I hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.